Yeah, well, Petro Gazz for me really looked like a team with a mission. They really wanted to defend their crown, and they really relied heavily on Lindsay van der Weyde, and then the others followed suit. So it was really Petro Gazz's tournament as we saw it.
And usually Cignal, their main, really, like, main weapon is blocking. But, Petro Gazz just barged through their defense. What can you say about the balanced scoring as well of this Petro Gazz team?
Well, you're right about blocking. Let's tackle that first because
Yeah.
we look at the trend in the entire semifinals. Which team normally maybe just one game, but all the other games, which team had better blocking ended up winning? And I was looking at the stats in both finals game. Petrogas outblocked Cignal. So yeah, I mean they use defense, but when you talk about offense, what you like is everybody contributed, especially in game number 2. It wasn't just Lindsay van der Weyde. You felt a Remy Palma, you felt Myla Pablo. So she became so infectious. That's why they played so well.
Absolutely. So at this moment, we also want to give our flowers to the runners-up in terms of the Cignal HD Spikers. Again, not a lot of people expected them to be in this situation. You look at the standings, especially early on, a lot of doubts about Tiberia, but then she came up good. Your thoughts on their performance here and their run to the finals?
Well, for me, Cignal, you have to give it to them. They tried their best, really, but they were just really, overpowered by Petrogas. But it was a great journey for Cignal. I mean, a lot of people really discounted them in getting to the finals, but they actually did. They fought for it, and then they made it. They came up short. Someone's got to win, and we have to give it to Petrogas. But hats off really to the efforts of Cignal. And as you said, Tiberia tried, but just fell short this conference.
Well, not just in this conference. Cignal has been, one of the most consistent programs actually here in the PVL. I mean, what do you think looking forward should Cignal do to, maintain this kind of competitiveness here in the PVL?
I think it's not just Cignal. I mean, when you talk about that, moving forward, all the other teams really, I think they have to tackle also or correct their psychological aspect of the game. Because when you look at the lineups, a lot of these teams or most of these teams are so talented, but how come the journey always falls short? But that's the question that you need to ask. So I feel the rebuilding should also focus on the mental and psychological aspect of the game, and that goes for all of the teams.
You talk about mental and psychological, and that was a problem for the Creamline Cool Smashers and them not making the finals in general because of the Grand Slam pressure. But then able to finish strong with a bronze despite an injury to Eliza Valdez, who injured her knee going for a dive. Your thoughts on the campaign of Creamline finishing with a flourish despite the disappointment of not having a Grand Slam?
Well, for me, it's really a learning experience for all the teams, even for the fans, that, things happen. It is what it is, we always say. I mean, they came short, they fell short getting to the finals and getting a Grand Slam. But that's part of the journey of each team. You want to keep getting better. And but they always say, it's harder to maintain your spot at the number one, being number one. A lot of people will really try to target you. But I want to shout out really to the Creamline team and the management because they finished that game against Cherry, although, losing cause. But they finished it with such grace for me. Respect the game, respect the fans. And for me, I got goosebumps listening to Eliza say those words because it's so true. I mean, really, my respect goes out for Creamline.
And talking about, getting better, I mean, Creamline has been, the number one for quite a while. What's the next level here for this Creamline team looking forward in the next season?
Grand Slam ba?
Exactly. I was going to say that. It's the Grand Slam because they fell short. Like that is Serena Williams type of story. But yeah, they just want to keep building on, maybe they lost this conference, but they're looking to the next year and trying to get the Grand Slam.
No, on to the individual awards here. Of course, the Dream Team, there's a lot of very familiar names there, but we want to focus on some of the ones that stood out a bit. Of course, we know Eliza Valdez is going to be amazing. Gia Morado de Guzman is always going to be amazing. But then let's talk about Mylene Pa at winning the MVP award. She put up a lot of import-like numbers, reinforcement-like numbers rather. And she honestly, despite the fourth place finish for them, really had a great individual journey.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, for Lindsay van der Weyde, you can talk about her at the same breath. She just overpowered everyone, and her scoring was just something to behold, and Finals MVP as well.
Well, for me, Mylene Pat really run away. I mean, she deserved MVP. I mean, a lot of people would say, why is she MVP? She didn't play well in one game. But you have to look at the entirety of the conference. Mylene Pat just played like a reinforcement. That's why they are, or they were where they were. They made it to the Final Four. And coming off, previous conferences, and we heard her speech, her interview, that she really did it for her team. She deserved it. She put up the numbers. She nearly got them maybe a bronze, but it's still her effort, and she deserves to be the MVP. And going to Lindsay van der Weyde, I mean, come on. I mean, I'm sure nobody would even question the fact that she became the best foreign reinforcement, because she was the most consistent, really, from start to finish and to the final. So she really deserved it.
How about the champs who also won individual awards in MJ Phillips and of course Myla Pablo? Can you talk a bit about their performance this conference?
What I like about MJ Phillips winning an award is because you're seeing a emergence of new names.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Eliza, yes, we have Pablo, but I mean, these are, we're used to these names, but you see Buding de Remdes also getting recognition, although people know she's good. But I like to stress on a player such as MJ Phillips, because people, you want to get better, you have your goals, you can achieve it. Look at MJ Phillips. That's not her, comfortable position, but she embraced it, and she even won best middle blocker for that. So it just goes to show really that the sport is still evolving. Some people think it has plateaued some way somehow, but no, it's still evolving, and we will, be talking about new names, and for the the other players who want to be recognized some way somehow, you still got a shot.